Hey folks, another installment in that whole let's build a street rod thing. This is just kind of a shorty, just jigging up for putting the tail plate in here where my trailer hitch is going to bolt in. Because receiver hitches always have a habit of rusting up and getting messed up so that the receivers won't go into them. I'm bolting my receiver hitch to the tail of this, but I am welding in a heavy duty tail section, so that's all 3/8 3x4 angle iron with a 3/8 plate in there, and then the bolt holes for my receiver to bolt under it. And that's also where my bumper will mount. I'll bolt a plate that'll come out and that'll hold my bumper. Anyways, I wanted to show just how many clamps are needed sometimes when you're trying to get something accurate and tight. And as I mentioned before, these Bessey clamps are probably the best clamps in the world for fabricators, but they're stupidly expensive. There are some generic companies out there that are halfway okay for the garage mechanic, but the main thing is make sure you've got enough clamps and a variety of sizes and styles, and clamping and being able to hold things in place. You can see my little guy over there. And floor jack and some of the other things. Wood blocks are very important, cribbing, proper hammers. So all that stuff makes your life a lot easier if you've got enough clamps and scraps of metal. So like in this case, these are just some drops and pieces that I had laying around that I can use for squaring this up and holding things in place while I'm fabricating this. So that's why you'll walk into a welding shop and they usually have a corner or a pile under a saw or something like that, and they don't throw away a lot of that scrap, is because they use it for jigging. Or like here, I've got a piece that I'm using to keep the dirt out of my gas tank neck while I'm working on this. Now obviously I'm welding near this. This is a brand new gas tank that's never had fuel in it. But because it gets heavy lifting that thing in and out of there a dozen times, I'm just leaving it in place as I'm working. Eventually I'll end up painting that tank anyways, graphite, so that it blends with what I'm going to do with the frame. But then also the other thing is cardboard templates are really a big thing of automotive. As you saw in a couple of my earlier videos, if you've been watching the series, like the painter's tape and the painter's paper for layout, but cardboard is really important, even your Mountain Dew cases or whatever else, for cutting your templates, because you can cut your sheet steel pieces or your templates for your sheet steel pieces out of cardboard first. Make sure that they fit and then cut it out of steel. That way you're not having to go back and forth with the metal or end up overcutting more than you needed. So anyways, that's just a little bit of tips and tricks. Having enough clamps, having enough proper tooling, hard wheels, soft wheels, 040s at your disposal. In this case, because that was all heavy welded, I did have to break out a hard wheel in order to, a fiberglass reinforced hard wheel, in order to take some of the heavy welds off to make that pretty. And then went back with the soft wheel and cleaned it up and cleaned up some of my other welds here and that. So just some tips and tricks that will make your life easier. So I think this is episode 36, 37, I don't know. But we'll keep it short this time, but we're making progress. So thanks for watching.